Welcome to the Botanical Gardens. I'm here today with all these people around, being very awkward, but I want to introduce to you the Botanical Gardens in Astana because I go here all the time. It's pretty interesting. It's a nice place to go to. If you can see people behind me, I'm not sure, but it's a popular place to go to in the summertime. So let's first go and see some of the popular spots. Now over there and over here are reservoirs where they keep water. Basically all of Astana is actually a swamp or marshland, so they need these water areas to keep this whole area from flooding, basically. That's my theory, it's not fact. They have fountains on either side, and this is where people take picturesque photos, like young teenager girls will come here and be like, and then families will just stand all together not smiling. So basically this is a bridge area as well. I'll show you some shots as I'm talking here. Woo! All right, now once you get over the bridge, that's where the park kind of starts, and we're over the bridge now. And right here is a greenhouse, and inside there's two of them. Inside they have some tropical plants or some plants that kind of can't survive outside in Astana. A lot of plants can't survive outside in Astana, so they end up replanting a lot of the flowers that you see behind me here. But in this area is probably the most flower-filled, I would say. They have these yellow flowers, I don't know what to call, and then roses. I'm filming in the middle of August, and so the roses are kind of dead, but throughout the summer, oh my gosh, there were so many roses. It was absolutely beautiful. But because of the quarantine right now, you can't go inside these greenhouses to see what they look like. Usually you have to pay 500 tenge to get in. I've actually never been inside. Let me explain the rest of the park and show you a little map. So the park is set up as a large rectangle between the street Turkestan and Kazakhstan Batir. The center is kind of a circle, and then it all goes out from a circle. There's several maps around the park, but none of them actually correspond to each other. But I found one map that has everything labeled in English, Kazakh, and Russian. So boom, that's gonna help me today. And the middlemost part is what we'll start from next, which is the Mediterranean section, apparently. So now we're in the centermost section of the park, which has a lot of nice gazebos that you can sit in. They're actually like hunted for. Most of them are occupied, and there's people waiting around. As soon as one family leaves one of those pavilions, a new family will just hop in there. So this part is very nice, very sculpted, and as you can see, there's some people behind me on the grass. And this central part is then surrounded by a lot of evergreen trees, so some type of pine trees. And within those pine trees, a lot of people actually sit and have picnics, and no one seems to stop them from sitting inside there and having picnics. So I would highly suggest, you know, in the spring, summer, autumn, I guess, to come here and have a picnic among the evergreen trees. Now, this park is pretty big and there's a lot of different sections, so I can't really go and show you each and every part. So let me just show you the parts that I like, and then if you ever come to Astana, you can see the rest of them. So let's head over to a part that I like, but is also a fan favorite among families, the fountain. Voila, the fountains. So that in the background is quite a large, I think traditional Kazakh kind of bowl or cup. And then surrounding it all in a circle are these other tiny little fountains, which children absolutely love to play in. Unfortunately, it's an overcast day, so there's less children here. I mean, it might be fortunate for me, but usually a lot of children are here. They're always like half naked. Don't tell the pedophiles. But the children are usually around here with their families. And I'm not sure exactly when, there's no information kind of around, but there's a certain time where this whole area turns into like a water concert, where music starts to play, which is like Kazakh music in its theme. And then there's lights and colors around this, followed by a fountain coming out of that cup as well. This is a nice place to see some water, and I guess if you want to run around in the fountains, which is my secret desire, you can do so. I haven't done it yet, but maybe sometime in the future. Let's head over to the next location. Boom, we're in the forage plants section. I only found this place recently. I was just walking around, I said, hey, that looks like lavender. These are things that I know. So this forage section is actually where they grow plants where you could eat or use them. But the thing is, there's signs all over the place that says, don't walk over there. So you can't forage here. You can only look at the plants that you could possibly forage. But nevertheless, it's pretty cool. I love seeing plants that you could potentially eat. That's always fun. All right, next location, which is probably my most favorite location of all. We've come to my favorite part of the park. It is the medical plants or medicinal plants. I didn't even know it was the medicinal plants until today when I found a map that worked out. I just like the way it looks. I love this area. They have rocks spread all about and these pine trees that are like alone, plus these low ground plants. Oh my gosh, the aesthetic is just me. I love it. And let me just take some time to kind of just show you my appreciation for this space. If you don't like it, jump ahead like 10 seconds. Now, walking by, this sign actually reminded me of something. It says in Kazakh something, but then underneath it says in English, Scientific Zone Exposition, Collection of Plants, Great Step. So actually, this botanical garden is not only meant to be like a park for people to see, but also it's meant to be a scientific area for people to study plants. Now, I don't know how successful that's going, and I don't know if this looks like the Great Step. In fact, I know it doesn't look like the Great Step, but I am wondering, what will they do with these scientific areas, and how can we know what science they're doing? That would be really interesting to find out, but here is a specific scientific area of the park for the Great Step. Now what's cool is because this is a botanical garden and it's kind of sciencey, there's actually labels for a lot of the plants. Basically, these label the different plants and the names are all in Kazakh at the top, so this is Tau Karagai. But the downfalls is that sometimes there's a ton of plants and only one little label, so you're trying to figure out like, hey, which plant is this? Luckily, this plant only has one label by it, and it also says where it's from, and this one's from somewhere in Europe. Another cool thing about the park is the way they designed the roads. There are 3 lanes to most of these roads inside of the park. This one over here that has the bricks is for pedestrians to walk. The green one I'm standing on now is for runners. It's specially padded. And the red one over here that has 2 lanes on it, what do you think it's for? Bikes. It's for bikes. I feel like Dora the Explorer. I think if you ran all of the tracks, it could be equal to 5 kilometers. I might be lying. Someone told me 5 kilometers, someone told me 4 kilometers. I don't actually know. I don't run. If you want to bike, run, or walk, there's a space for you in the park. And here is our final location, Western Kazakhstan. Actually, the park has north, south, east, and west Kazakhstan represented in different parts of the park. However, this part of the park is the only part that I can really tell showcases this certain area. Western Kazakhstan has something like these structures in it, and so you definitely know this is Western Kazakhstan. Over right next to it is actually Southern Kazakhstan, but the way they represent the other regions of Kazakhstan is with plants, and because I'm not that familiar with Kazakhstan's plants, I can't look at a region and be like, oh yes, that is definitely Southern Kazakhstan. I can tell by this plant. And so this is the most apparent one. It's currently raining a little bit right now, so there's not a lot of children here, but usually this place is full of children just climbing to the top, and sometimes their fathers as well joining them. I don't know why, the moms never join, but the dads do. It's basically a playground. Despite there being actual children's playgrounds not far away, this one is way more popular. And so we've finished my little tour. Let's go to the final location for our last words. All right, it's literally raining, but let's go ahead and wrap up. So that's all for the botanical gardens. There's definitely more for you to look at if you ever come here. I can't film it all. Like I said, it's too big. There's definitely a lot of places to walk if you like walking. If you like seeing nature, there's a lot of nature here. If you want to bike, if you want to run, have a picnic, go on a date, sounds like a great place. There's definitely way more for me to learn about the botanical gardens because I haven't found a lot of information in English about it. I searched the web. Basically, all the information that I've given you today is from one single map that I found at the front of the park on Turkestan Road. The rest of it, I've just amassed from walking around and learning things. I don't know if anybody's gonna watch this that has to do with the management of the botanical gardens, but it would be great if they gave tours about the nature, you know, about the different plants. You know, it could be in Kazakh, Russian, English, or whatever, but just for the people of the city to be able to kind of learn in a tour-like fashion, you know, like a free tour where someone just goes around and shows you plants and talks about them. And then maybe people like me would be able to differentiate southern Kazakhstan plants from northern Kazakhstan plants. Thank you so much for watching. I'm not sure if you like this type of video. I like this type of video, and that's why I want to make it. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about Astana, the botanical gardens, maybe even Kazakhstan, and I hope to see you in my future videos. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. There's a man with a very long lens taking photos of me right now. A little creepy.